Stop scrolling. What if I told you that this ordinary 5 peso coin from Mexico could be worth thousands of dollars? One small coin in your pocket could actually be hiding a life-changing treasure, and most people don't even realize it. Imagine reaching into your pocket for loose change and pulling out a coin worth $80,000. Not a gold bar, not a centuries-old treasure, just a simple 5 peso coin from 2005. It sounds unbelievable, almost impossible. But today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 2005 Mexican 5 peso coin, a modern coin that has captured the attention of collectors across the world and, under the right circumstances, could be worth a life-changing amount of money. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you might start looking at your spare change very differently. The 5 peso coin from 2005 comes from Mexico's well-known commemorative series honoring the heroes of the Mexican War of Independence. This series was issued by the Banco de México and featured several important historical figures who shaped the nation's destiny. These weren't ordinary circulation coins. They were designed to remind people of Mexico's powerful past every time they made a simple purchase. In 2005, one of the standout coins in this series featured the image of José María Morelos y Pavón, one of the most important leaders in Mexico's struggle for independence from Spain. Morelos was a priest turned revolutionary general who played a critical role after the execution of Miguel Hidalgo. His leadership, intelligence, and military strategy helped push the independence movement forward during some of its most difficult years. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll find Mexico's national coat of arms, the golden eagle perched on a prickly pear cactus, devouring a serpent. This iconic design has deep roots in Aztec legend and remains one of the most recognizable national symbols in the world. Surrounding the emblem is the inscription Estados Unidos Mexicanos, identifying the issuing country. The reverse side features the portrait of José María Morelos, along with his name engraved clearly beside him. The design is bold yet detailed, giving the coin a sense of dignity and historical weight. Above the portrait appears the year 2005, and somewhere near the edge, you'll find the mint mark MO, representing the Mexico City Mint, one of the oldest mints in the Americas, founded in 1535. Now let's talk about the composition of the coin, because this is where things start getting interesting. The 2005 5 peso coin is bimetallic. The outer ring is made of stainless steel, while the inner core is composed of an aluminum-bronze alloy. This gives the coin its two-tone appearance, a silver-colored ring surrounding a golden center. It measures approximately 25.5 millimeters in diameter and weighs about 7.07 grams. The edge of the coin is smooth with inscriptions depending on the specific issue. Millions of these coins were produced for circulation. On the surface, that would suggest they are common and worth only face value. And in most cases, that's true. If you walk into a store in Mexico and use one today, it's still worth 5 pesos. But here's where the story changes. Within large mintages, rare variations can appear. And collectors know that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding among the most ordinary objects. One of the key factors that can dramatically increase the value of a 2005 5 peso coin is a minting error. Mint errors occur during the striking process. Sometimes the metal planchet is misaligned. Sometimes the dies clash or double strike the surface. Occasionally, a coin is struck off-center, creating a dramatic visual shift in the design. Other times, there can be missing elements, weak strikes, or unusual metal mixtures. A 2005 5 peso coin with a major error, especially one in near-perfect condition, can attract serious attention in the collector's market. The rarer the error and the better the preservation, the higher the value climbs. Condition is everything in numismatics. Coins are graded on a scale, often from poor all the way to mint state 70. A coin that has never been circulated, with full original luster and no visible scratches, is significantly more desirable than one that has spent years passing from hand to hand. Imagine two identical 2005 5 peso coins. One is worn, scratched, and faded from years of use. The other has been carefully preserved since the day it left the mint. Crisp details, sharp edges, and brilliant shine. The difference in value can be enormous. Now let's consider another factor: scarcity within specific varieties. Some 2005 5 peso coins may have been produced in lower quantities depending on specific production runs or minor die variations. Even subtle differences, such as spacing and lettering, slight variations in portrait details, or unusual alignment, can create collectible subtypes. Dedicated collectors spend years studying these microscopic distinctions. There's also the growing international demand for modern Mexican commemorative coins. Over the past decade, interest in Latin American numismatics has surged. Collectors from the United States, Europe, and Asia have started paying closer attention to coins that were once overlooked. As demand increases, so can prices. Another element driving high valuations is certification. When a coin is submitted to a professional grading service and receives a high grade, especially MS68, MS69, or the elusive MS70, it becomes authenticated, protected, and documented. This adds credibility and confidence for serious buyers. Now picture this scenario: a rare mint error, preserved in near-perfect condition, certified at an exceptionally high grade. Combine rarity, condition, historical importance, and collector demand, and suddenly, a coin that once bought a cup of coffee can command astonishing prices. But how does a coin like this reach the $80,000 level? It's the perfect storm of factors. First, the error must be dramatic and visually striking, something that stands out immediately. Second, extremely few examples must exist. Third, the coin must be preserved in extraordinary condition. And finally, there must be competitive interest among high-level collectors who are willing to pay a premium for exclusivity. When collectors compete for something they believe may never appear again, prices can escalate rapidly. Modern coins have surprised the world before. There have been instances where coins from the early 2000s, coins that millions ignored, later became prized treasures because of a specific rare variety. The psychological factor also plays a huge role. There's something thrilling about discovering that a coin from your own lifetime could be worth more than a house. It feels accessible, possible, real, and that excitement fuels the market. Now let's address something important. Not every 2005 5 peso coin is worth thousands. In fact, the vast majority are still worth exactly 5 pesos. The key is identifying the rare traits, significant mint errors, exceptional condition, and verified authenticity. If you have one of these coins, examine it carefully. Look for off-center strikes. Check for doubling in the lettering. Inspect the portrait for unusual lines or distortions. Make sure the metal colors are consistent and not the result of damage or environmental exposure. And most importantly, avoid cleaning the coin. Cleaning can drastically reduce value, even if you believe you're making it look better. Collectors prefer originality. Natural toning, original surfaces, and untouched details are always more desirable than polished shine. Another interesting detail about the 2005 issue is its place within the broader commemorative Independence series. As collectors aim to complete full sets, certain years become harder to find in top condition. Completing a flawless series can push up the value of individual pieces. Over time, as coins are lost, damaged, or melted down, the number of high-grade surviving examples naturally decreases. Scarcity increases, especially for pristine specimens. Let's think long-term. A coin minted in 2005 is now over 2 decades old. As the years pass, fewer uncirculated examples remain. People spin them, scratch them, drop them, forget them in drawers. Survival rates shrink. That's how modern coins quietly become future rarities. And when a coin combines national history, striking design, limited error varieties, and exceptional preservation, it enters an entirely different category. Imagine discovering one in a jar of old coins passed down by a relative, or finding one tucked inside a forgotten wallet. It looks ordinary at first glance, but under magnification, you notice something unusual: a misaligned strike, bold doubling, or a perfectly preserved luster untouched by time. That moment of realization is what makes coin collecting so addictive. The 2005 5 peso coin isn't just currency. It represents Mexico's revolutionary spirit. It carries the face of a leader who fought for independence. It symbolizes resilience, identity, and history. And in rare circumstances, it can also represent extraordinary financial opportunity. Imagine holding a simple 5 peso coin from 1994, a coin that many people have spent without a second thought. It looks ordinary, It feels ordinary. But what if I told you that under the right conditions, this small piece of metal could be worth far more than 5 pesos? Today we're diving deep into the story, history, design, rarity, and hidden potential of the 1994 Mexican 5 peso coin, and why collectors are paying more attention to it than ever before. To understand this coin, we first need to go back to the early 1990s in Mexico. The country was going through major economic changes. Inflation had hit hard in previous years, and in 1993 Mexico introduced the Nuevo Peso monetary reform to stabilize the currency. One new peso was equal to 1,000 of the old pesos. This reform changed the entire coin system and introduced modern designs that we still recognize today. By 1994, Mexico was in a critical year politically and economically. It was the year the North American Free Trade Agreement, known as NAFTA, came into effect. It was also a year marked by political tension and financial uncertainty. The coins minted during this period were not just currency, they were witnesses to history. The 1994 5 peso coin belongs to the modern Mexican decimal coinage system issued by the Banco de México. On the obverse side, you'll see the national coat of arms of Mexico, the eagle perched on a cactus devouring a snake. Around it reads Estados Unidos Mexicanos. This emblem dates back to ancient Aztec legend and has become one of the strongest national symbols in the world. The reverse side of the 1994 5 peso coin features a bold, large number 5 in the center, along with the word Nuevos Pesos on early issues or simply pesos on later ones after the transition period. The year 1994 appears clearly below the denomination, and near the bottom you will see the mint mark MO, representing the historic Mexico City Mint, officially known as Casa de Moneda de Mexico, the oldest mint in the Americas, established in 1535 during Spanish colonial rule. Now let's talk about the coin's composition and physical details. The 1994 5 peso coin is bimetallic, a design that makes it visually striking. The outer ring is made of stainless steel, while the inner core is aluminum bronze. This creates the two-tone appearance, a golden center surrounded by a silver-colored ring. It weighs approximately 7.07 grams and measures about 25.5 millimeters in diameter. The edge is smooth. At first glance, this coin seems extremely common. Millions were produced for circulation. And yes, most 1994 5 peso coins are still worth face value today. But here's where things get interesting. In coin collecting, value is not only about age. It's about rarity, condition, demand, and unique characteristics. Let's start with condition. A 1994 5 peso coin that has been heavily circulated for over 30 years will show scratches, fading, and wear on the high points of the design. These coins are common and hold minimal premium. However, a coin from 1994 that was never circulated, meaning it still has full original mint luster, sharp edges, and no signs of wear, becomes significantly more desirable. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS65 or higher is considered in excellent uncirculated condition. If a 1994 5 peso coin achieves an MS68, MS69, or even MS70 grade, it becomes extremely scarce because very few coins survive in such pristine condition after decades. Now let's move to mint errors. Mint errors are one of the most exciting parts of modern coin collecting. During production, coins are struck by heavy presses using metal dies. If something goes wrong during this process, unusual and rare variations can occur. For the 1994 5 peso coin, collectors have reported examples with off-center strikes, die clashes, doubled lettering, and improper metal bonding between the core and the outer ring. A dramatic off-center strike, where part of the design is missing but the date is still visible, can command a strong premium. A doubled die error, where the text appears slightly duplicated due to misalignment of the die, can also increase value. There are also rare cases where the inner core is rotated or misaligned compared to the outer ring. Because this is a bimetallic coin, any bonding errors between the two metals are especially collectible. Another factor to consider is transitional pieces. The early 1990s were a time of monetary adjustment. Coins marked Nuevos Pesos were later shortened to simply pesos. Transitional varieties from this period sometimes become collectible, especially when found in high grade. International demand also plays a role. Mexican coins have gained increasing popularity among collectors in the United States and Europe. As more collectors aim to complete modern world coin sets, demand for high-quality examples grows. Let's imagine a scenario. Someone in 1994 received a roll of brand-new 5 peso coins from the bank and stored them carefully in a dry, safe place. 30 years later, those coins remain untouched, with brilliant luster and zero wear. If submitted to a professional grading service and certified at a near-perfect grade, their value could multiply far beyond face value. The combination of age, historical significance, limited survival in perfect condition, and collector demand creates the potential for strong premiums. There's also the emotional value of this coin. 1994 was a year that shaped modern Mexico. Economic reforms, political shifts, and global trade expansion all happened during that time. Holding a 1994 coin is like holding a small metal witness to that turning point. Now, let's be realistic. Most 1994 5 peso coins in circulation are worth 5 pesos. But uncirculated examples and high grades can sell for significantly more to collectors. And coins with dramatic mint errors can command even higher amounts depending on rarity and visual appeal. The key is knowledge. If you find a 1994 5 peso coin, examine it carefully. Look at the details of the number 5. Check the lettering for doubling. Inspect the bond between the golden center and the silver ring. Use a magnifying glass to search for unusual marks that look like they came from the minting process rather than damage. Never clean the coin. Cleaning removes original surfaces and drastically reduces value. Collectors prefer coins in natural condition, even if they show toning. Storage is also critical. Keep coins in protective holders, away from humidity and direct sunlight. Proper storage preserves value for decades. Over time, as more coins are lost, damaged, or melted, the number of high-quality survivors decreases. That's how modern coins slowly become scarce. What feels common today may become rare tomorrow. The 1994 5 peso coin represents more than just currency. It symbolizes economic reform, national pride, and a new chapter in Mexico's monetary history. And for collectors who understand grading, mint errors, and preservation, it represents opportunity. The next time you come across a 1994 Mexican 5 peso coin, don't ignore it. Take a closer look. Because sometimes the most valuable discoveries aren't ancient treasures, they're modern coins that everyone else overlooked. Small coin, big history, hidden potential, and who knows? The treasure you're searching for might already be sitting quietly in your change jar. So before you toss that 1994 5 peso coin back into a drawer or spend it without thinking, pause for a second. Look at it closely. Check the details. Examine the condition. Because knowledge is what turns ordinary change into hidden opportunity. Coin collecting isn't just about old silver or ancient gold. Sometimes the real excitement comes from modern coins that carry history, rarity, and potential value that most people completely overlook. The difference between 5 pesos and something far more valuable often comes down to awareness. If you enjoyed learning about the 1994 5 peso and want to discover more coins that could be hiding in plain sight, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. We're constantly uncovering stories behind everyday coins that might surprise you. Keep checking your change. Keep learning. And remember, the next valuable coin could already be in your hands. Imagine holding a small coin in your hand. It looks ordinary, just a 5 peso piece from 1999, the kind you might have spent countless times without thinking. But what if I told you that this coin, this small, everyday piece of metal, could actually be hiding something extraordinary? That under certain rare circumstances, it could be worth far more than 5 pesos? Today, we're taking a journey into the world of the 1999 Mexican 5 peso coin, uncovering its story, its design, and the factors that make it a potential collector's treasure. To truly understand the 1999 5 peso coin, we need to step back a few years. In 1993, Mexico went through a massive monetary reform. Inflation had plagued the economy for decades, and the country needed stability. That year, the Nuevo Peso was introduced. One new peso was equivalent to 1,000 old pesos, effectively rebalancing the currency and allowing Mexico to modernize its coinage. By 1999, the system had fully settled, and coins like the 5 peso piece were now standard in circulation, a symbol of both the new economic era and everyday life. At first glance, this coin seems simple. On the obverse, you'll find Mexico's national coat of arms, the golden eagle perched on a cactus, devouring a serpent. Around it reads Estados Unidos Mexicanos. This emblem is more than just a design. It's an icon rooted in Aztec legend, representing the founding of Tenochtitlan, today's Mexico City, and standing as a symbol of national pride for centuries. Every time someone handled this coin, they were holding a piece of Mexican history. Turn it over, and the reverse side features the large, bold number 5, immediately telling you its denomination. Beneath it is the word pesos, and below that, the year 1999 is clearly marked. Near the bottom, you'll spot the mint mark MO, indicating the coin was produced at the Casa de Moneda de Mexico in Mexico City, the oldest mint in the Americas, established in 1535. This is a mint with a storied history, having produced coins for over 4 centuries, from colonial times through modern currency reforms. Now let's talk about the coin's composition, because that's where things start to get really interesting. The 1999 5-peso coin is bimetallic, giving it a distinctive two-tone appearance. The outer ring is stainless steel, silver in color, while the inner core is aluminum bronze, giving it a warm golden hue. The coin weighs approximately 7.07 grams and measures about 25.5 millimeters in diameter. Its edge is smooth, and when you hold it, you immediately feel the difference between the inner and outer metals, a subtle reminder of careful craftsmanship. At first glance, millions of these coins were minted for circulation, which might make you think they're ordinary and worth just 5 pesos. And for most people, that's true. But here's where the story gets fascinating. In the world of numismatics, coin collecting, value isn't just about age. It's about rarity, condition, and unique characteristics. Let's start with condition. Over 25 years have passed since this coin was minted. Many have circulated extensively, passing through countless hands, wallets, and cash registers. Scratches, fading, and worn details are common. But a coin that has never been circulated, one with full original mint luster, sharp edges, and no visible wear, is a completely different story. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS-65 or higher is considered to be in high-quality, uncirculated condition. But when a 1999 5-peso coin reaches MS-68 or MS-69, it becomes incredibly rare because very few coins survive decades without any handling or damage. Next, let's talk about mint errors, the things that make collectors' hearts race. Coins are struck by heavy presses using dies, and occasionally mistakes happen. These mistakes, called mint errors, can create unusual and highly collectible variations. For the 1999 5-peso coin, collectors have documented examples with off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing or shifted dramatically to one side. Some coins show doubled lettering or numbers, caused by a slight misalignment of the dies. Others have die cracks, faint raised lines on the surface created when the die itself develops a flaw. And because this is a bimetallic coin, there are rare instances where the inner core is rotated or misaligned relative to the outer ring, a feature that instantly catches a collector's eye. Now consider scarcity. Millions of these coins were minted, but how many have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition? The answer is surprisingly few. Over the decades, most coins have been spent, lost, scratched, or damaged. Only a tiny fraction remains in top condition, creating a natural scarcity for collectors who seek perfect examples. There's also growing international interest. Mexican coins have become increasingly popular among collectors in the United States, Europe, and Asia. High-grade examples from the 1990s, coins that most people overlooked, are now in demand. Completing modern Mexican coin sets has become a hobby for collectors worldwide, and that demand has pushed the value of rare, well-preserved coins upward. Imagine this scenario. Someone receives a roll of 1999 5-peso coins in 1999 and carefully stores them in a dry, safe place. Decades later, those coins remain untouched, with full luster and sharp details. One of these coins is submitted to a professional grading service, certified at an exceptional grade, and suddenly, What was once ordinary pocket change becomes a collectible treasure. Add a mint error, maybe an off-center strike or double die, and the value skyrockets. It's important to be realistic. Most 1999 5 peso coins are still worth just 5 pesos. But for the few that are uncirculated, have unique minting characteristics, or are certified at high grades, collectors are willing to pay premium prices. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary coins often comes down to these subtle factors. If you have a 1999 5 peso coin in your collection, here's what to do. Examine it closely. Look at the alignment between the golden core and the silver outer ring. Check the lettering and numbers for doubling. Inspect the eagle's feathers on the obverse side. Rotate the coin under good light to see if original luster remains. And never, ever clean it. Cleaning removes the original finish and destroys collector value. Even light polishing can be fatal to its potential worth. Storage is just as important. Use protective holders or coin capsules. Keep the coin in a cool, dry place away from humidity and extreme temperatures. Proper storage preserves the coin's surfaces and keeps it in the condition that collectors prize. The 1999 5 peso coin represents more than currency. It represents a period of Mexico's history, the stabilization of the peso after economic reforms, the technological and cultural growth of the late 1990s, and the modernization of Mexico's coinage. Holding one is like holding a small piece of history. Small coin, big story. And while most 1999 5 peso coins remain ordinary and circulate every day, the rare examples in perfect condition, or those with dramatic mint errors, hold hidden potential. The next remarkable coin in the world of numismatics could already be sitting quietly in someone's change jar, overlooked but waiting to be discovered. The lesson is simple. Treasure often hides in plain sight. The 1999 Mexican 5 peso coin is a perfect example of that. History, rarity, and meticulous preservation can turn a small, unassuming coin into a collectible gem. And the next time you find one, take a closer look, because it might just be worth more than you ever imagined. Before you toss that 1999 5 peso coin back into a drawer or spend it without a second thought, pause for a moment. Look at it closely. Examine the details. Feel the weight. That small piece of metal isn't just currency. It's a tiny witness to history, a token of Mexico's past, and in rare cases, a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Coin collecting isn't just about old silver or ancient gold. Sometimes the most exciting finds are modern coins that everyone overlooks, coins that quietly gain value as years pass and survivors grow scarce. Knowledge, patience, and careful observation can turn ordinary change into something extraordinary. If you enjoyed this journey into the story behind the 1999 5 peso coin, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow collectors, and subscribe for more incredible stories hiding in everyday coins. Who knows? The next coin you find in your pocket or drawer might be the one that changes everything.